Hi friends, hope you are doing good and safe. Welcome to my channel Mulepia World. My name is Radhesham Pandit and today I am going to talk about that DataView 2.0 in MuleSoft. So basically this is the first part of video which is having all the details related to DataView theory, like introduction of the DataView, what is the headers and body in the DataView, DataView MIME types, and DataView with arrays. So many all these things which we need to cover in this video. First part is like mostly probably on that theory part, and also as well as the programming for few functions. So after this we'll cover the most programming in that second part. So let's continue this part 1. So let's move to the topic. Yeah, so what is the data view? So see, basically data view allows developers to read and parse data from one format and transform it and write it out as a different format. So basically like we have to do the transformation from one format of the data to the another format of data by using the data view. So there is different types of MIME types we are using as an input and output. Data view is having a header and body section. Let me show you. One second. Yeah, so see this is the data view playground here. This part is like data view header, and this is the body. So in data view header, like we will differentiate through the 3 dashes. So above on dashes there is the header part of the data view, and below dashes that is the body, which we can implement the whatever the business logics we need to implement here. So basically in header part, you can see the data view version and the input output file. So let me tell you that input will be my application / CSV. Okay, so this is my input file is like JSON. Okay, and my output will be CSV. So like this you can define, or no, this is not the required, but yeah, if you can do this way, just only what other format we need as an output, like CSV or JSON or XML, so that we can do that one. So see, this is my input payload, which is having one objects in which ID, status, and the name. So this JSON I am going to convert in the in a CSV format. So see, in CSV format you can see this is the column, that ID column, status column, and name column. Under this you will get the value, this is the ID, this is the status, and this is the name. So this is the way we can transform from one format to another format. Also let me show you how we can transform from JSON. So see, this is the JSON format, we can transform through, this is the JSON to JSON. So whatever the output you required, just you have to mention as a MIME type here. Okay, let me show you the XML. Okay, yeah, we need to check on that one, that XML part. Okay, so let me cover this first, the theory actually. Yeah, so this is the data view MIME types, that application / XML, JSON application / JSON, and CSV application / CSV, etc. So there are many MIME types which we can use to transform data. So see, basically I have took the screenshot from the data view playground. So this is the input, this is your scripting, what we have to do as per the requirements, business requirement, and this will be the output. So you can play with this data view, and you can check what desired input outputs which is required. So according to that you can do the scripting here. So this is about the data view playground. Okay, now I'm moving to the how we can identify or create type of data in data view. Okay, so like there are basically type of data is string, numbers, boolean, arrays, objects. Okay, so let me show you like how we can identify that. Okay, so 1 second. Yeah, so see basically let me first the string things. Okay, so let me do that one. String, how we can so there is the one function called type of. In type of, like whatever you have, we are defining, like let's say anything. So that will be the here string. So this will be your string. Okay, if this is the key, actually this is the key, and whatever that is the value. So this is the one of the function, the type of function. By using that we can identify those what type of data is it. Okay, so this is about the string. Okay, let me show for other one. So then number. Okay, then you can just you call that particular type of function, and let's say you have defined number like 1 2 3 whatever. So this is the number of number type. Okay, next move to the string number, and what is that, boolean. Okay, so boolean yeah, you can here write as true or false, whatever. So this is the type of boolean. You can write as a true or false. Okay, so this is the boolean object, means boolean. Now I'm going to cover that arrays. So let me change the key name, and array is, this is the your array. Okay, and again that objects, how we can define that objects. So basically by using the curly braces we can identify that particular things is object. So these are the types of data which is in that data we can define. So there is the type of function, from that we can identify those data actually. Okay, now and how to define variable in data view. Okay, so let me show you. See, there is the var keyword. By using var keyword you can define, let's say your variable name is actually name. Okay, and you are just assigning the value, let's say Radhe. So this is the variable you have defined. So that variable you have defined in that header, and by using that variable name, like my variable name is name, so by using that we can read those values. So see, we have defined the value here, and just we are reading actually by using the variable name. Okay, now yeah so you can define, see basically I have covered here. So see, types of data in data view, like strings, how we can identify the strings, that number, how we can identify the number. So this is the functions which we call boolean. So this is the types of true or false, whatever, an array, and this is the object. Okay, now defining the variable. So let's say this is my variable. I have defined 3 variables, that var name, name as a Radhe, var number, that 1 2 3, and var boolean, that is the false. So let me show you how we can read in the data view. Okay, so let's say I have copied here, and I'm using this name. Let me I want to use that number, and just simply you have to define that number. You will get that output as a 1 2 3, and let's say boolean. Okay, so that boolean, whatever the value, that will be as a output. So this type of variable you can define, and we can read in that body itself. Okay, now yeah, so this part is covered. Okay, now I'm moving further, like how and what methods we have to read data in data view. Okay, so basically there are 5 types of functions which we can use to read the data in the data view from that input file. So see, basically there is the first type is single value selector. So by using this we can read that value by using dot sign. So see, basically payload dot whatever the key name or attribute name that we can define to read those data. So I'll cover all these 5 types in that data view. So let me explain first. So yeah, so this is first is the single value selector, and second is the index value selector. So index value selector, like by using the array, which we have to, in array we have to define that particular index, and by using that we can read those value from that particular index. So like payload of index of index. So this is the single dimensional, and this is the multi-dimensional. Okay, now coming to the third type, that is the range selector. So by using this end to end, so basically we have to define like from start to end, from where to where we have to read that particular value. So that we can do that one. So by using that payload of -1 to 0 or payload of 0 to 5. So this way we can read read that particular input data. Okay, now fourth is like multi-value selector. Okay, so in multi-value selector, by using that dot star, we can read that particular data from that JSON or like XML, whatever. So see, basically when we are going to use this one, like if you have the JSON in which like there are multiple the key which is the same name. So on that case, just we have to by using that one name, and we can read those all the values which is belong to that particular attribute name. So in that case we can use as a multi-value selector. And fifth is the descendant selector. So in descendant selector, like by using dot sign, we can read that data from that particular input file. So see, basically this is used for complex JSON when we need the values for certain key, no matters where they appear in the piece of data. So basically it's not like any requirement like that particular field or key is like in the particular sequence. We don't worry about that one. So just we have to like that particular key wherever that is like mentioned in that particular complex JSON. So by using that dot sign, we can read all those data which is the same like attribute. Okay, so now let me cover this one by one in the data view. Okay. So yeah, so first is like let me copy the another JSON which I have already defined. So this is my JSON file, JSON as a input. Okay, so let's say I have defined the JSON here. I am removing this one. So now first, like let me print payload as it is. Okay, so whatever the input file which I am printing as it is in that as output. Okay, now coming to the like single value selector, how we can define and how we can read by using the single value select. So by using the dot sign, we can read those values. So let's see, I want to read this employee name, employee ID or department. So let me like payload dot. So in that particular payload, like we have these values, so we can read that payload dot employee name. So we got that employee name. Okay, if you want that payload that employee ID, just we have to payload dot employee ID. Okay, so this is the like output. So by using this dot sign, we can read those data. Okay, now also if you want to read this city, so how we can read that one? So see, basically in payload we have to you have to call first this address. Okay, so I'm going to address. Okay, now in address there is another object which is the employee address. Okay, so I have to go to that employee address. Okay, now in employee address there are city and state. Okay, so now I need only that city. So just employee address dot city. Okay, now you will get that output, whatever that output in that you will get it. So this way we can do that, read the data from the input file as a single value selector. Okay, now coming to the index value selector. Okay, so let me change my like input. So let me define one array. Let's say in first in array I am defining the like John. Okay, now let's say Mary. Okay, now again there is the like do name. Okay, whatever you have to like you want to define that input, that we can do that. So this is the one of the array which we are going to read here. Okay, so now I'm going to read those one. So basically let me print first that whatever that payload. So you will get this like array. In that array you will get that whatever that defined there. Okay, so now I want to read this second value, that Mary only. I'm not care about that first and last one. So just I need to define the index. So basically this is the array, and that will work as a index basis, like 0, this is the 0th element, this is the 1 element, this is the 2 element, and dot n element. Okay, so I want to read the second element, so by using 1 we can read those one. Okay, so this way we can do to read that one. Okay, but and then if you want to like read the last one, so like see basically we have to define the negative indexes, so we can like read that the last element of this array. So let's say there is one more name like tmt. Okay, so by using this -1 you can read the last element. Okay, so this is the like you can say index value selector, the second type of methods which we are going to use for read the data. Okay, now I am going to use as a range selector. Okay, so range selector means like let's say I need this second and third element. So just you have to define like 1 and second, sorry, not like this, like let's say in 1. Okay, so let's say if you want to read that one, so basically means there is the syntax, right? That payload of like whatever the like first element and the two last element or second element, whatever. Okay, so in that case, in that way we can read that one. So let's say I want 1 2 like 3. Okay, so 1 2 3 means this is the 1, this is the 2, and this is the 3. And if you just put it as 2, then this 1 and 2 like second and third element you will be printing. So this is the range value selector, means from where to where I have to read that one. Let's say I am mentioning here as a 0, then we will get this output like John, Mary, and Donel, whatever. So based on that like index which we have putting there, so on that basis you will get that output. Okay, this is the range selector. And now coming to the multi-value selector. Okay, so for multi-value selector, let me change my input again. So this is my input. Okay, so now 1 second, yeah. So we have to cover that multi-value selector, right? Okay, so let's say like employee ID I am defining here also, like 1 3 5 3 4 5. Okay, now dot star employee ID. Okay, so whatever that value will be there like with the same key, that all the value will be you will get that as output. Okay, so this is the like multi-value selector. So by using that payload dot star attribute name we can read those one. So whatever that, like there are multiple like employee ID, let's say employee name. Okay, so this is my employee name, another employee name, let's say Mohan. Okay, now I want to read these both field, that employee name John and Mohan. So just you have to simply define employee name. Okay, so you will get this output like John and Mohan. Okay, so this way we can do that one, like multi-value selector. Now coming to the descendant selector. Okay, so for descendant selector, let's say like I am repeating this employee name. Okay, now here is also my employee name as like whatever, like let's say Mukesh. Okay, so this value I need to read. Okay, so just you have to, what you have to do, like dot dot employee name. Okay, so John and Mukesh, you will get the those output. Okay, fine. So this is about the multi-value descendant selector. So by using that dot dot sign, you will get those output. Okay, now moving to the next. So I hope you are understood like what I have covered till now. So yeah, and next I'm moving further, like flow control in data view. So see, there are basically two types of flow control in data view. One is like by using the if else condition, we can do that one, and second is like the pattern matching with lateral values. Okay, so basically let me cover this if else first. Okay, so let's say we have one input. Actually I have defined that input already. Yeah, so this is my input. Okay, and let me like see, this is the, let me explain you. So basically here we are defining one variable, that is the action. Okay, so in action we are just writing those in the if else condition. If payload dot price, like we have a input as a price, so payload dot price less than 100. So like my input price is like 140. So here condition is, if my price is less than 100, then I have to print the buy as a action, else if there is the I use that if else condition. So for else if also nested. So let me like remove first this one. Okay, okay, so you will first, I'll show you for that if else condition only. So if that payload or price less than 100, then we will print by action as a by. If not satisfying this condition, then action will be hold. Okay, so this is the my condition. Let me copy this one and paste it here. So see, this is my input as a price, and like I have defined that variable as a action. If payload dot price less than 100, then action is buy. If not less than 100, then action will be hold. So I'll get those desired output. So let me change this one. So let me make this as a 90. Okay, so now your action will change. So that price will be less than 100. So that action will be buy. Okay, so this is the like if else condition we can do. And also we have like privilege to use the else if, means nested else. So let there is the one if else, and let me define one else if again. So else if my condition will be, if payload dot price greater than 150, then if else if okay, one second, control X, control B, else if मैं I'll use as a same. Okay, so see, I am using that else if in that if else. So see, basically if payload dot price less than 100, then I will print action as a buy. If payload dot price will be greater than 150, then my action will be sell. If not satisfying these both conditions, then my action will be hold. Okay, so let me change my input. So let's say my price will be 160. Now see, this condition is satisfied, so it's printing this one as a action as a sale. Okay, if that is like, let me change another thing, like 20. Okay, so 20 is less than 100. Okay, so in that case is buy. Okay, so this way we can do that one, like whatever the business the logic and condition we can do, and we can take out the desired output according to that one. So this is about the if else condition. Now I am going to another, that pattern matching with lateral values. So this is the like syntax, like input expression match in curly braces, that we have to like case and condition, that execute if condition is pass, case second condition, execute if condition pass, else execute if no condition pass. Okay, so this is the one input which I have actually. So let me show you in the data view. Okay, let me remove this one. Okay, now so see, this is the one of the syntax. So let's say copy here. Okay, so okay, let me explain you one by one. So let's say payload match. Okay, so in match, like let's say in case of 0, what I have to do, whatever you have to do, like let's say I'll say as a, in 0 case, light off. Okay, and now in case 1, my output will be light on. Okay, else, so like else, in else condition we have to just mention as a invalid input. Okay, so see okay, 1 second. Okay, fine. So my actually this is come under payload dot status. So first I need to read those ones. So payload dot status. Okay, so see, my input as a status as a 0, I am getting that light off. So this is the output. Okay, so now I am expecting this output, so I have to change that my input. See, now I am getting this one. If these both are condition not satisfied, then it will print this one. So let like define anything, O. Okay, not O actually, like number, like whatever, 9. So that 9 not in this case, so that's why my condition is not satisfied, so printing else one. So this is the invalid input. Okay, so like this you can add many cases as per the requirement. So this is the one of the like flow control by using the match lateral. Okay, now I am moving to further. So see, there are the 5 types of data view functions which we are using in data view to read those 5 data and transform into as the desired output. So like see, this is the first one is the name function. In name function, like we have to define, this is the syntax, like function, and there is the function name, and like whatever the argument, like argument 1, 2, whatever that argument we need to define, that we can define, and there is the body. So in body we can implement like the logic what needs to be do. Okay, so this is the first function, which is the named function. In that, this is the syntax how we can implement. Second function is the lambda function. Now, lambda function is basically nameless, so that function doesn't have the name. So see, basically syntax is like that whatever the like argument we can define, and then that implementation in that body part. So see, this is the one example I have given there. So basically in that bracket, like we are defining this lambda function, and we are adding doing the addition of these two numbers, like 2 plus 3, and my output will be like 5. So this is the lambda function. So lambda function is basically nameless. That function doesn't have the name itself. Okay, so this is the second function, and third function is the function as value. So this is like basically values can be passed to function as argument as well as return from the function. So see, whenever like we are defining that particular function, we are calling by using that function by passing that argument to the particular function. So let's say here I have defined one function, that is_odd function. So in is_odd function I am providing the n argument. Okay, so this n argument will be like implementing like n mod of 2 equal to 1. So this is the one of the functions we can this way we can define as a like third function, that function as a value. Okay, now coming to the next type, that is the infix notation. So infix notation is basically it is using when we need to define some argument, then function, again argument. Okay, so like this is the my payload, and then function, that is the filter, and we can define that condition here and that expression. Okay, and like this is the example, like number, we are defining this number, whatever number or payload, whatever that input, and then filter, and in filter like we are doing that like in argument and index, and then we are doing n mod 2 equal to 1. So this is the same for the odd function. Okay, so this way like infix means basically in between the argument we can defining some functions. So that is the infix notation. Okay, and there is another, that by using the dollar sign we can read the data from data view, like dollar to read the data, that all root data, $$ to read the index and all. So this is the like means dollar sign, by using this we can read the data also. So this is the type of function. So actually basically this like how we can use, how we can define these functions. These all functions like name function, lambda function, function as values, infix notation, and this dollar sign. So this all these things as a program I'll cover in the next part of this video. So for this I am like just going through the theory for this. And there is the another one, that function with arrays and object. So basically like if we have a arrays as an input, then we can do this we can use this functions as an inbuilt function to like transform the data as per the requirement. So basically on arrays we can use filter, map, distinct by, group by, reduce. So filter, which we use to like filter the data, like let's say we have a one JSON, and from that JSON we have to filter out like if the particular person age is greater than like 50, then we have to remove those one. So that things we can like remove from there by using that filter. And map is basically used on the array input to iterate the functions. Let's say we have a array, in that like basically multiple of objects and all, so that things we can like iterate on that particular data through the map function. Distinct by is basically used to find the unique records from the input file. Okay, and group by basically we can grouping the records by using some like unique value, or by using some like data and group those values in the single like in single data. So this is the group by function. And fifth one is like reduce function. Okay, so reduce function is basically we can use on array input. Okay, so this is the like we can also use to like convert array to object. So that purpose also we can use as a reduce. And second one is like on objects input. If we have an input as a object, then that time we can use as a this thing. So filter object, map object, plug, and update. So this is the same like this filter which we can use as on array, and this filter object we can use on JSON object, and this map we will use on array input, and this map object we will use on like objects input. Okay, and plug is also we can use on a object, and there is the update function also to use that one. So see, basically these are the like functions with on arrays and objects to use. So these two parts like all the functions, these all functions, and these all the like function with arrays and objects I will cover in the next part of in my next video, which is the second part. Okay, so I hope you like this video, and like please share your comments, and please like and subscribe my channel. Please let me know if you have any doubts, any questions. I'll get back to you, and then will like do that one. If anything needs to be done for particular on particular topic, then I'll do that one also. Yeah, thank you so much. Please like and subscribe my channel. Thank you.